Well guys, 2 videos in a day. Hasn't happened in a while, but I had someone text me and say, hey, can you show how you use a regular folding straight razor? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to show you some of the preparatory steps. Please don't mind the mess because I had to move some stuff around underneath the cupboard here because I'm thinking of replacing this sink as soon as I can while my wife's away. And I moved some stuff out of the cupboard. So I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to show you some of the preparatory stuff. So you want to get your bowl and your brush wet. Well, you want to get your bowl warm and your brush good and wet. So you want to let it sit and soak in the warm water. That's pretty hot. You also want to keep your beard as wet as possible. I just took a shower a little bit ago and then I wet all of it again after I trimmed my beard. Another thing that you want to have on hand for after, because a lot of people forget this, it's an alum block. An alum block. I trimmed my beard and I got beard hair everywhere. I gotta clean that up now. So you put it on after. So now we're seeing my camera. You put it on your skin after. Pause this. So you take this block and you wet it. And after you shave, you should always put cold water on your skin for your final rinse. And then wet this and then rub it on your skin and it acts like a styptic and it seals the pores and it's got some antibacterial because you're gonna cut yourself a little bit. That's just no way around it. You're using an extremely sharp blade. So let's get this turned around. So the first step, anytime you shave, and I am using this incredibly nice razor that was a gift from my wife. It is a Tanifuji Robusto 216. These are no longer made. This was new old stock. She got this for me as a birthday present a few years ago. But at any rate, the first thing you want to do every time you shave is strop your razor. And so I'm gonna move this back a little bit so we can get it better in frame. I know that's wobbling you guys. So basically, you're gonna take your strop, and this is a felt, and you're gonna run your razor back. And you don't use any pressure. And I'm only going to do 40 because I just honed this one not too long ago. 40 round trips. That's up and back is a round trip. So that's about 40. And actually this razor has been in my box for a while and I have got to get this thing out and clean it up a little bit because apparently the desiccate is no longer working and there's a little bit of rust on my $300 razor. But, so then after you use the felt side, you follow it on the leather side, and this one is kangaroo. No pressure. And you don't want to be fast at this. And I've seen people that leave their strop really loose. You want this as tight as possible. So now our razor is ready to shave. So let me pause this and turn this around. Okay, so I shave with a straight razor a little bit different than a lot of folks are gonna see. And I'm trying to find, let me see if I can get this directly. This was an impromptu thing, guys. So you've got to keep your beard nice and wet. And then you take your brush out. And now your bowl is warm and your brush should be just a little bit wet. You don't want your brush to be too wet or you're gonna wind up without, you'll have too much water and then your soap gets nasty. So a little bit of water left in the bowl, just a tiny bit. And then you start to try and build your lather. And that's, from there you can go and you can see if you've got enough water. And then you can just take your fingertips. Like I said, I'm keeping my beard wet. You take your fingertips and just get a couple drops and you put in, because if you put in too much water, your lather is going to be too watery, and it's not going to give you the proper lubrication you need for a shave. But if you get it too dry, one, you're not going to have enough lubrication because it's too dry, and then the razor wants to stick. So when you start getting these little peaks, you've got just about the right amount of water. And then you're going to see that as you build more lather, that it's going to start to dry up more. And I'm using a Gibson, crockware, stoneware bowl, because these bowls that you see, I have had some of the expensive shaving bowls, and I don't think that they do any better than this. So I've got enough lather for what I want. My brush has been dry for a while, and it's starting to lose some bristles. That's normal. I've had this brush for several years now. It's a Parker Silver Tip Badger. So, like I said, I'm keeping my beard wet. So the next thing you do is you lather. And I haven't shaved for a couple days. As a matter of fact, I didn't shave Friday. So you want to work in circles, and you want to make sure that you get all of it worked into those whiskers. And then I have a nice thick lather, and then I'm going to get that area right there, and that's it. So this is going to just be a real quick shave. Maybe a 1 or 2 pass. So the way I shave, and the way, not the way I hold the razors. So I just, first pass is down. And you see I'm pulling the skin down tight, and I'm pulling my chin up. Because I'm trying to keep some tension on the skin. It helps with the shave. It helps. So that's a pretty good first pass on that side. Now, some people switch hands here. I do not. I get to that point, and then I take the razor, and I hold it more like a knife, because I just can't get the angle I want the other way. And a lot of people say, oh, you're not doing it right. You should just use your left hand and hold it the way it was designed. It's great for them, but guess what? It's my neck. It's my face. I'm gonna do it my way. So your first pass, and we'll get the little soul patch here. So you can, with a straight razor, you get some really good control. So second pass, this soap is so really slick and slippery and lubricating that sometimes you don't need to use the brush again, but I'm going to. And this is where now you've made your first pass. Now you can go through and see if you've lined everything up. So now I've got it the way I want it. I'm going to put a little bit more on. Now I don't have to worry about the going in circles and rubbing it in under the whiskers because now it's at a level where it's not going to. So your second pass is against the grain. Not exactly up, but more across. And for me, this is really important because my hair grows in like 3 different directions right there on my neck. So I'm kind of going at an angle across the grain. So pretty much that's the second pass. Missed a little spot here. So second pass is across the grain. Always fold your razor. You don't want to put your hand on that one thing. That thing is sharp. Third pass. And on this area, second pass is against the grain. And that is really baby smooth. But I can see a little spot of blood. There's always gonna be some little itty bitty nick. Now I have given other people a straight razor shave, and I can tell you it is much easier to shave someone else than yourself because you can move around your individual that you're shaving. Now, I would not recommend doing this after a cup of coffee or a Monster or something like that where there's a couple little spots here. Where the hair goes in a weird direction and I have to always go back and hit them up a little bit, but pretty much that's that's good enough for what I need. And that really didn't take that long. So there's a lot of people who think a straight razor shave has to take forever. There's a good bit of prep. There really is a good bit of prep that has to be done. But as far as the shave itself, it doesn't take that long once you've practiced. So I'm going to text this individual with a link to this. You can see there's some little spots of blood, but I mean that's natural. So like I said, you rinse with cold water. And then you take this alum block, alum, A-L-U-M, I think. It's the stuff that Jerry used to put in Tom's mouth, and his mouth would shrink all up. And you just rub this. You don't want to get it in your mouth. It's horrible. Rub this all along your neck and leave it sit for a little bit, and it's gonna stop any little nicks and cuts from bleeding, and it's going to close pores. It's going to take a lot of the irritation out, and I put a lot on, and I did get it in my mouth. It's horrible. Ugh. And these last a very long time, as long as you don't drop them. They will shatter like a piece of glass. Because it's basically a block of, like an aluminum salt. It's a naturally mined thing. You can see it's a naturally formed thing. It is something that if you're going to do a straight razor shave or just wet shaving in general, that you're going to want to have. So I leave that on for a little bit, and then when you rinse it off, then you can use whatever aftershave you want. And I have a bunch of different aftershaves, but I use this because I do have a tendency to bump. That's why I switched to a single blade razor. I bump pretty badly, and switching to a single blade razor helped a lot. But this stuff is awesome if you happen to bump. It's called Bump Patrol. I sell it like Walmart and stuff like that. And then I use a little bit of rose water, and then I pick my aftershave. And a lot of times, it's just the old school, classic Old Spice. Can't go wrong with a classic, or Aqua. Can't go wrong with the classics. So, no, that's basically it, guys. That's how I use a straight razor. It's really not that complex, but there was a guy that texted me. I don't know if he's a subscriber or not. So, you know, I put my contact info at the beginning of every video, so I get a lot of weird texts sometimes. Alright guys, that's it. This video put me in a lot better mood than the screwed up knife earlier today. So I'm gonna clean up, and I will talk to you guys later, and I'll see you next time.